Tucker Carlson is doing the thing more mask off than he has ever done the thing before. Now, obviously, the whole white displacement thing was like a pure call for white supremacy, a pure call for like whatever. But now it's gotten to the point where it's literally inciting violence against people directly. Like there's a specific call for a specific thing. Tucker Carlson is now telling his audience to harass people who wear face masks outside. I can already hear people saying, but Maxine Waters says when you see a Trump supporter, you got to rush him down in the restaurant. And I unpacked that shit in the last. We watched it together. She said, and I quote, anybody from Trump's cabinet, not random Trump supporters. And I never saw that. So I used to think, Maxine Waters really said that? There's got to be some reason for it. She ain't even say that. She ain't even say that. That's what got me so tight. She ain't even go that far, bro. She ain't even go that far. She said, anyway, that's stupid shit. If they see children wearing masks, Tucker says the response should be no different than when you see a kid being abused. Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services. Holy shit. That's something you should not fucking do. Especially if that kid has COVID and you still got to take him outside. Should not be something you do, but let's see what he's got to say.
We did give in. This grotesque version of Halloween went on for more than a year, and it's still going on. Not even Tony Fauci still pretends that masks are medically necessary. Instead, masks are purely a sign of political obedience, like
wrong
Kim Il-sung pins in Pyongyang. We wear them because we have to. The only people who wear masks voluntarily outside are zealots and neurotics. How neurotic are they? Well, we know. A Pew survey from last March found that 64% of white Americans who classify themselves as liberal or very liberal have been diagnosed with an actual mental health condition.
He said last month, right? Oh God. Okay, I'm just highlighting this one sentence in the middle of this. Sorry to break away from the Tucker Carlson content for a second. Despite the importance of masks, some people object to wearing them. During the so-called Spanish flu pandemic, for example, opposition to wearing masks occurred in San Francisco in 1919 when authorities attempted to make it mandatory to wear masks in public places. The Anti-Mask League was formed, which was a short-lived protest movement in which the proponents argued that masks were ineffective, inconvenient, and that mandatory mask wearing violated their civil liberties. These anti-masks were a vocal but small group, so most people followed the recommendations to wear masks in public. A similar situation has arisen during the COVID-19 pandemic. Estimates suggest that at the time the present research was conducted, about 10 to 15% of the adults in the U.S. and Canada rarely and never wore masks in public. Does that account for literally? Does that account for people who aren't around people or people like who? You see what I mean? Like never wore masks in public. People who didn't go outside. Does that account for that? People who went outside in like lonely places or people who like. Okay. During the COVID-19 pandemic, there were numerous anti-mask protest rallies, primarily in the U.S., Canada, Europe, and Australia. Protest rallies have persisted despite high rates of infection and large number of deaths. Violence has erupted in some rallies as protesters clash with counter-protesters with police. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Psychological reactants. People like to feel in control. PR is motivated as a result of rules, regulations, or attempts at persuasion are perceived as threatening one's sense of control, autonomy, freedom of choice. The perceived threat motivates the person to assert their freedom by rejecting attempts of persuasion. Thus, when PR is evoked, it is characterized by counter-arguments and anger. This might involve denying the existence of a threat. For example, denying the need to wear masks by denying the seriousness of the pandemic. Thus, PR is expected to be correlated with denial or disregard for the seriousness of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go to Pew Research. Okay. About 2/3 of U.S. adults say they regularly wear a mask. Fewer than half say most in their area do this. All and most of the time, not going to decide with places. 65%. Trying to see. No, there's no search for mental. And this was, he quoted this study 65%, but this doesn't say anything about mental issues. College graduates are more likely to report having worn a mask all or most of the time, 76% than those without a college degree. This education gap spans racial groups. For example, 79% of black adults wore a mask all the time, 67% of blacks and some college less. Fully 85% of Hispanic college report, 72 less educated Hispanics. I don't like that word. I don't like that. Older adults classified as a high risk are more likely to, blah, blah. This age gap is consistent across parties. Okay, so, see all coronavirus research. See how much work I'm doing to like fact check myself? One-third of American and Asians fear threats, physical attacks. He said last month. I'm looking. Okay, so I can't find what the fuck he's talking about unless I were to, if he's quoting that Pew Research, which had nothing to do with what he said. So Tucker is lying.
Percent of white Americans who classify themselves as liberal or very liberal have been diagnosed with an actual mental health condition. And you see them everywhere when you walk down the street in any major city. If you dare to go on foot from Union Station to the Capitol, for example, in Washington without wearing a mask, angry Biden voters will snort at you in judgment. How could you? They're saying from behind.
Oh, here we go. I understand we all know the thing about blah, 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 Fox News, Tucker Carlson. Nobody would take him with he's not spitting facts. It's just an opinion show. You know that he's the most watched. We have to eliminate the idea that the common sense of what Fox has called him is actually how people think of him. Let's get rid of that for a second. Let's really dive into that. First, what he said is not true. Purely. Like, he just said it and it's a lie. Like, we looked at it, we tried to find it, didn't work. If somebody in the comments later in a YouTube video wants to show me what he's talking about, I gladly read it. Whatever. He then said, and I quote,
a mask? Angry Biden voters will snort at you in judgment. How could you? They're saying from behind the.
So are you saying that only Biden voters, not Democrats? Because some Democrats voted for Trump. Some like some people who are left-leaning voted for Trump over Biden. So are you saying Biden voters, not Democrats, are going to sneer at you and say, how could you not wear a mask? As if any Republican doesn't like view this pandemic as something serious and would also do the same thing? How the fuck do you know if they're a Biden voter or not? Because they wear a mask? Oh shit. So you are saying that the thing that you accuse the left of doing, which you are accusing the left of doing, is the thing that you are doing? So it's an easy case of projection, but there's got to be something deeper about it, right?
Cause. How could you? That's the question we should be asking of them in return. The rest of us should be snorting at them first. They're the aggressors. It's our job to brush them back and restore the society we were born in. So the next time you see someone in a mask on the sidewalk or on the bike path, do not hesitate. Ask politely but firmly, would you please take off your mask? Science shows there is no reason for you to be wearing it. Your mask is making me uncomfortable. We should do that, and we should keep doing it until wearing a mask outside is roughly as socially accepted as lighting a Marlboro in an elevator. It's repulsive. Don't do it around other people. That's the message we should send because it's true. As for forcing children to wear masks outside, that should be illegal. Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Unpack, rewind, flag on the play, offsides, clipping. Hold up, wait. Whoa, roll that back. Let's go to the videotape. I need to rewind that one.
As for forcing children to wear masks outside, that should be illegal.
Nobody is forcing children to wear masks outside. The mask mandate is for all Americans. Children are Americans. Children can carry the virus. It's like the mask mandate is to protect everybody, including children, because children have died from the virus. We know that. We know that the chance is super slim. Doesn't fucking matter. If every 1 in 100 kids is going to die from, let's be nice. Let's say every 1 in 10,000 kids are going to die. You pick the kid to die. You pick him. Oh, it should have been one of the thugs that be carrying guns. Like, okay, whatever, okay.
Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart.
Whoa! First, no. Second, hell no. Third, what the fuck? Fourth, whoa, slow down.
Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services.
You want to contact CPS about a kid wearing a mask from their house to the store and back over like literal children being abused. I thought it was about the kids. What happened to the kids? It's about we're trying to save the children. Just threw that right out the fucking window. So this goes back to a point I was making earlier about how the world is so black and white to these people that they will literally back off of a premise that they have been speaking about for years in one segment in 2 minutes to make a whole other outrage point. He has to be doing this on purpose. Now, some people would say, well, it's obvious, Marquise. We know he does it for purpose. We know that literally just giving him the time of day is the point of what he wants. And why would we give him that much attention? Because he's no longer what I'm fucking worried about. It's the people who listen to him and definitely think he's saying correct, absolute, like not opinions. This is the reality of the world. We have to face it. Those are the people I'm nervous about because they're going to fucking do that. I promise you in the next month, we're going to hear something about this again. Oh, there's been a rise in CPS calls over mask wearing.
Keep calling until someone arrives. What you're looking at is abuse. It's child abuse, and you are morally obligated to attempt to prevent it.
I like that. Here's why I like it, and here's where y'all are. Oh, this is going to be a great take. He's conflating oh shit, this has to be at least the 6th time I've done this on stream. And this is why I always say, I wish my audience were bigger so I don't have to fucking repeat this every time. But we're going to do this again. We're going to do this fucking again. And I appreciate you watching and just sticking out. But I need to make this very, very fucking clear. They're doing the same moral outrage bullshit that they claim the left does. And I'm going to say right now, I really do believe that the left has an insanely improper method of moral attitudes because half the shit that they care about is bullshit compared to the problems that we actually need to address. They feel comfortable in their privilege to call themselves liberals and I don't care, you could be gay or whatever, but they're not actually going to do anything to help change the stigma around the issues that are currently facing a lot of racial groups and a lot of you get what I mean. I'm trying to be fluid with that sentence. He's taking the moral argument to do what every political pundit does on this side. You are not okay with child abuse, right? It's the straw man argument. You're not okay with child abuse, right? Well, this is child abuse. Why are you excusing it? To which you would say, well, this isn't child abuse. Oh, so child abuse is only what you call it, right? Oh, it's always about having to agree with you and your standards. See, you create a problem out of nothing off the background of having a moral standing towards it when the rest of your platform doesn't back the moral standing that you've had thus far. Therefore, you are, and I quote, full of shit. Easy, right?
If it's your own children being abused, then act accordingly. Let's say your kid's school emailed you to announce that every day after lunch, your 6th grader was going to get punched in the face by a teacher. How would you respond to that? That's precisely how you should respond when they tell you that your kids have to wear masks on the soccer field.
Please wear a face covering when, please wear a helmet when playing football. Is the exact same as we're gonna punch you in the face.
That is unacceptable, it is dangerous, and we should act like it, because it is. But too few of us have responded like that.
Holy shit, bro. Holy shit. Not sure what's worse, claiming science when it's not, stigmatizing mental health disorders because, people wear masks that don't have COVID for other reasons that are also very fucking important. Promoting violence over a piece of cloth, including against children. That this hateful antagonistic drivel is allowed on TV. That he does this for attention and it works. It was read word for word off a diatribe that went through their legal department is full of qualifiers and designed to be as incendiary and provoking as possible by keeping one potential juror on the fence. The strategy is to light a fire and laugh as they pour gas. Yeah. Harass my son, a cancer survivor with a compromised immune system, for not wearing a mask, for wearing his mask outside, and will be the last person you harass. Not a threat, a promise. He's not talking about kids with cancer. He's talking about normal, otherwise healthy kids being forced to wear masks. You're almost there. Now consider that people that don't walk around with their medical history written on their forehead. But again, everyone else should be wearing a mask for these specific people. That may be a hard concept to grasp a year in and we don't know how masks works. Jesus Christ, bro. Like, hey, could you do this thing for us? No! I refuse! Freedom! Okay, so if you're not going to wear a mask, can you do me a favor? Can you just not shop here for a while? Because it's going to make our business go down. How dare you! It's the same as the shirt shoes. It's a temporary thing that if we all did, would make the temporary thing go away faster. But instead, we have, quite literally, Tucker Carlson saying, yo, strip those kids away from their parents. Almost like the motherfucking rules that you people made against who again? Oh.